Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ace and Ektar Heroes of the Storm Casting Podcast Playoffs Edition. I'm still Ektar, and he's still Ace. And Ace, as mentioned, first playoff cast of the season for us, I believe.
Yeah, we've been a little busy preparing for our own playoffs, thankfully, this season.
Yep.
So,
we don't have to make any salty posts in divisional chat about not making playoffs, even though we had a positive win rate, under teams that didn't.
Nothing about that. Nope, don't worry about it. We're there. We won our first round even, and we're going to set up for next round. But right now, we will see which one of these two teams moves on to the next round. Ektar, who are our teams tonight, and where are they coming from?
Our teams tonight are out of Division D West, which is one of the double round robin divisions, having only 4 teams advancing to the playoffs, and we have ourselves a 1v4 match tonight. Fountain Snipers, the number 1 seed out of Division West, versus Maximum Thrust, the number 4 seed. For the historic data, Fountain Snipers currently hold a 4-1 record in maps over Maximum Thrust, so really looking to see MT adjust their previous strategies into something a little bit more concrete so they can take the victories here tonight. Or will Fountain Snipers continue their dominating performance? We shall see. We are currently just about to get into the draft. The counting down has begun, followed by the momentary 3-second pause before we actually get in onto the draft screen about now-ish.
Well, we're on Cursed Hollow here, Ektar. How did we get here?
We got to Cursed Hollow by downloading this game 5 years ago and never stopping playing.
What a mistake.
If you mean how we got here tonight, well, Fountain Snipers, as the higher seed, have the choice of first pick or map pick. Unsurprisingly, they opted for first hero pick. Maximum Thrust then banned out Alterac Pass. Fountain Snipers banned out Braxis Holdout. Maximum Thrust banning out Towers of Doom. And Fountain Snipers finally banning Battlefield of Eternity before Cursed Hollow was selected by Maximum Thrust as our map number 1.
All right, I'm going to go take a look. The most representative map from their previous matchup between these two teams were 2 games on Alterac Pass, which I believe is banned out this evening.
It is banned out this evening, and I think with good reason. Fountain Snipers holding a 100% win rate on that map across 4 games.
Pretty solid, 2 of them being against Maximum Thrust. Run a variety of different compositions throughout. Now, I don't know these teams particularly well, but I do see a lot of diverging lines that these teams have taken throughout the games that I'm looking at.
Yeah, in the relatively limited amount of pre-scouting that I had time to do tonight, the teams don't have a lot of overlap in the heroes that they've played consistently. So, I would be really interested to see if one of the teams maybe considers hard pivoting into a draft more akin to their opponents to get them off kilter. We do see the target bans coming out in full effect, Andu and Tychus being the 2 most played heroes for Fountain Snipers, right up there with Leoric, who is the next most played by them, so I would not be terribly surprised if they end up early picking some of their more favorite heroes so they don't get banned out or picked away from them later in the draft.
Yep, always a distinct possibility. They are going to lock in the Li Ming. I do see some Li Ming bans and picks, so not a terribly surprising hero to see, but no, not a traditional Li Ming map, I would say.
Generally, no. You can a little bit treat it kind of like BOE, where you have really good poke over the wall, but there are better heroes for that role. And I would not actually be surprised. I don't know. I have to check Maximum Thrust, but I know Sonya is quite up there on Fountain Sniper's list of preferred heroes, so maybe they are actually considering pivoting and taking away some of their opponent's comforts.
Yeah, Maximum Thrust with only 3 Sonya games all season, so definitely more of a pick against their opponents than otherwise seen. There's a Nubarak and Brightwing picked up for Fountain Snipers, and Brightwing especially gets some good value on this map.
Yeah, having that global ability to just decide to win a lane is relatively valuable. More valuable than that, however, is the ability to just soak during the early parts of the objective phase. they tend to go really long, so just having someone that can show up to the team fight quickly is extremely valuable.
Now, I did see the Samuro get played on Alterac Pass, so yeah, not a particularly surprising ban there. Samuro can be the most annoying hero to play against in the game, so I see that.
Anubarak is a bit of a deviation for Fountain Snipers. I don't see him particularly represented in their popular tanks, having only played him 2 out of their total of 31 games, so really going different in the tank role. Maybe looking for a kind of blow-up comp, as I don't often consider Brightwing incredible CC follow-up, but for Anubarak specifically, I think she is quite good because she helps to make sure heroes can't escape with their otherwise quick mobility buttons.
Yeah, although it is a very large map, and maybe having some of these better soakers is better to have. That's a Kel'Thuzad picked up by Maximum Thrust, and
It's pronounced
I don't
Kel through freaking Zod. Thank you very much.
True, my mistake. But also importantly, not seen in Maximum Thrust's match history. So this is definitely a specific pickup that they have been either practicing or preparing for. Now, Cursed Hollow, again, maybe not the best map for him, but we will have to see how W Star plays the hero.
I do think it might be a really smart pick for them, because Brightwing is particularly bad at saving heroes from immediate blow-up. Like, the 30 spell armor is great if you can get it before they start getting blown up, but Kel'Thuzad's combo is often faster than that, and she certainly doesn't provide incredible burst healing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that game's a little quiet because Hero's volume settings are great in replays. And yeah, I kind of passed over. There's a Kira also picked up here at the end of the draft.
I like it.
I actually do too. Again, do we have any Kiras for Maximum Thrust? We do have one Kira game played. So that'll be, time to pull it out again. And if there's a map for Kira, I generally like her on these bigger maps. She can act independently, but also, be able to show up for team fights.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm just remembering that we're not on Alterac Pass.
I did remember we were here on Cursed Hollow, but I did, yeah.
Alright.
Basically the same.
They're similar. Spawning here on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, they are Fountain Snipers with Mosley playing the Malthael, Lampico on Anubarak, Ding playing the Greyman, Silver Jackal on Li Ming, and Rusty on the Brightwing.
And on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we have Maximum Thrust with U0. I'm going to call it that, even though it's not that, because that's what I read at first on Stukov, W Star on Kel'Thuzad, Diet Llama on Kira, Vacuity on Sonya, and Anyone on Blaze. Now, Ektar, before we start, is it Neon or Anyone for Blaze?
Anyone for Blaze, user error for Stukov.
User error. The caps, I get why the caps exist, but boy, are they hard to read.
Yeah, not the easiest thing to parse, but at the same time, if it were just a jumble of letters, it would be. Maybe just capitalizing the first letters would make it a little easier to parse there.
Yeah.
I will say, full disclosure, I did do some coaching sessions with Maximum Thrust, as towards general drafting strategy and macro mechanics. I did not help them prepare specifically for this match, and I am just as excited to see their new stuff here as anyone else would be, because I didn't know about it.
Very, very cool. Yeah, we have a pretty regular start so far. Greymane working on the camps while everybody else is split out between the lanes elsewhere. W-Star and User are going to go ahead and work on the Siege camp as well. And this is one in the bottom lane, so it's a little more valuable. We'll see if they hold that or go pick it up early.
One thing that I'm actually pretty interested in is to see how the mid-game, or the later parts of the early game, play out, especially in that bottom lane. Li Ming, not particularly well known for her solo lane capability. Really good job by anyone getting that 40 armor out there. Otherwise could have taken a truckload of damage, instead only took some damage.
Yeah. Now, first divergence from the teams is Vacuity picking up this Bruiser camp, not the Sonya camp.
I mean, kind of is, though.
Sonya on the Bruiser camp. Nobody here from Fountain Snipers is working toward. Okay, they're working towards it now, but it will have enough of a time difference that it may matter because the Siege Giants will be pushing in while Brightwing and Greymane work on this.
Yeah, and there's actually a pretty sizable push here. Brightwing and Greymane taking that camp. Only Mosley here for the defense, and Malthael not particularly good on the defense. Although with only a Kel'Thuzad here for actual damage, there's not a big threat to either heroes or buildings if he doesn't get stunned out by jet propulsion.
Yep, Mosley playing it safe behind the wall, so... Yeah, team's now opting to clean up around the map and then look towards this first objective phase. Burzer's taken out against Maximum Thrust, and now Fountain Snipers will have that mid lane advantage for taking it second. But, we'll have to see. Li Ming will be rotating second or later into this fight than any other hero.
Ace, I feel I need to ask, given the most recent major balance update, how do you think Fountain Snipers are going to carry on here now that Fountain Sniping is a literal impossibility?
That's a tough one. I think their key strategy has been removed, much like this Anubarak is getting removed from this fight. Taken out first, but Stukov dove on by Meeting and taken out. Vacuity goes for a spear, but is in quite deep. There's no healer here. Meeting wraps around and grabs the second kill now. Diet Llama in a bunch of trouble. Right wing with the port to keep the team alive is helping a lot, but this is turning well for the Fountain Snipers.
Yeah, I generally feel that the healer is maybe the most important individual target in most team compositions, so trading out a tank for a healer is a slight advantage in favor of Fountain Snipers, as well as their camp was pushing mid lane during that whole time, and they were able to eventually pick up the objective, so... Small advantage towards them, but certainly nothing that can't be overcome by other plays made later in the game.
Yep, I believe it was Cavalier Guest that also said that the healer is the single largest force multiplier, and, he's been taken out twice now as they find a pick into mid lane with all the damage.
Yeah, I was too busy watching the scuffle in top lane. I missed the engagement onto Stukov.
Did too, so don't worry, we didn't see it. Unfortunately, still counts against death total and gives your opponent XP towards those level 10s, albeit the difference is not particularly large at this point.
Nope. One area where Fountain Snipers are going to start to pull ahead is on their camps, as they have Greymane on there already, and it's only Stukov matching him on the other corner of the map. Kel'Thuzad rotating now, but even then, the two of them are probably slower than just a Greymane, as well as they're closer to the eventual objective.
Yeah, it is on the side of Fountain Snipers, so I wouldn't be surprised if Maximum Thrust were to vacate this one and just opt for a little bit of soak action, but we might see an engagement on Diet Llama. It does use the action and utility belt to escape and allow Kel'Thuzad to stack up just a little bit more.
Yeah, not quite as much as he would have liked, but certainly better than he could have gotten. Sonya has already gone full into the bottom lane, so we do not expect to see Maximum Thrust do anything more than possibly a little bit of poke. Not even going to commit to that. Hard getting on this objective, and with it being on their opponent's side of the map, I'm not terribly surprised, and they probably get more value in bot lane anyhow.
Yep, that'll let them even up the XP, break down some towers in the bottom lane. Yeah, and they'll definitely have level 10s for this next objective, which is quite big. So that will be on their side of the map in the bottom now. Will Vacuity scout out this three-man boss play by Fountain Snipers?
Looks like he's not. The rest of the team hasn't responded either. I don't know that this is likely to... Don't worry, Lumpico Nobi. Saw that stun. I don't think it's going to end up being a boss-to-boss play necessarily. I think they're really trying to get value into killing Mosley, who is certainly going to die here, but... The inevitable caster question, at what cost? One kill for a boss? We take that all day.
Yep, and it's going to cost Vacuity an ultimate as well as they go ahead and leap on out of town. And yeah, I tend to agree with you, Ektar. They spent a long time getting that boss together, or setting up that kill and getting it while Fountain Snipers were getting the boss. They will march down bottom lane, closest to the tribute, and definitively secure this fort, but also there's the counter kill as Vacuity's just sitting around town a little bit too long and
Yeah.
gets taken out.
That is what we call not respecting the opponent's ability to kill you. Sonya thought that they were safe in burrow charge range. They were, in fact, not safe. And it's not even burrow charge range upgrades, so no surprises to be held there. And with the curse and a boss still very healthy pushing in bottom lane, Maximum Thrust are going to need to respond. We have the Hearths back now, as otherwise their keep is under threat where they're only threatening a fort themselves.
Yep, top fort does go down, but it looks like here comes the leap early. Vacuity is going to get stunned by the boss, but the combo goes in well. Right Wing in a lot of trouble, gets the Soothing Mist to stay alive, and Sonya's taken out first in this fight. Stukov is in a cocoon. Kira does not get the ult. This is game if they lose, if they wipe here, Ektar.
It definitely could be. We have the last rights, but it is not going to secure a kill. Actually, the core getting the final kill shot there, I think that was after a 75 armor cut. Helping to secure that Leeming, and that really stymies any potential for them to end. Nice, almost good combo onto Mosley. They are looking to threaten the kill still. Is going to get healed up by Brightwing, and they're even going to find the counter kill on Stukov. This boss is the MVP of this push, Ace. That is multiple stuns and roots leading to kills.
There's another stun by the boss as Vacuity's sitting under town. Under there, anyone's going to get taken out as well. Boss is going to be taken out, and I don't think they've got enough. They definitely don't have enough to end because Malthael does negative amounts of siege damage.
Yeah, but if Kira ends up dying here, they could turn around real hard. I don't think that that is necessarily the wisest decision, but they are so far ahead at this point. There are a lot of decisions they could make that still lead to them winning the game.
Yeah, that is for sure 7-3 in kills, but very importantly, even with that distinction, Fountain Sniper's pretty even in XP with Maximum Thrust. If all of those plays allowed all the minions to push up for Maximum Thrust.
User error. Nice leap is going to save user error for now, and there isn't enough CC to turn around in the Vacuity just yet. Last Right's coming out very early. He's not going to secure that kill. And this fight is going all different ways, but it's going to lead to a Malthael kill.
Yeah, it's a big pickup there for Maximum Thrust. They won't be able to pick up anything else in terms of kills, and there's not a lot of things to do, big things to do on the map. But definitely a step in the right direction, being able to shrug off that engagement and counter killing.
Yeah, that fight could have gone so hard into either direction at so many points. Very lucky for Maximum Thrust that it did go in their favor, as catching a Stukov with his pants down really for the third time this game could have been devastating for them.
Yeah. Importantly on Quest, taking a look at it before fight may break out. Actually, Sonya being visible in the bottom lane means that Fountain Snipers know they're up a player on this, and they are posturing aggressively.
They are, and Kel'Thuzad only at 22 of the, I believe, 40 stacks necessary.
30.
30. Alright, still though, far enough away that he doesn't get it likely during this team fight, which means I would not be surprised to see Maximum Thrust end up ceding a lot of positioning here.
Yep, the ult definitely helps though. The Frost Blast, the more consistent ult, does definitely help, but no, they opt not to fight this one out. Kel'Thuzad remains at 22. Kira waiting to finish up that Fatal Wounds quest with 31 more dings to acquire. So once she gets level 16, I think Maximum Thrust are going to be able to have a little bit better of a shot in the team fights, as the Booming Kick is an incredible upgrade for Kira's.
Yeah, it's pretty gigantic. We have the engagement coming out onto Stukov, but really not actually finding anything, just literally finding Cocoon and nothing else. Fighting under the Spell Armor would be a bit of a risky play from the Fountain Snipers. The Spell Armor goes down. Leap coming and hitting out onto 2 under a Lurking Arm, but not actually finding anything more than that, and that is Vacuity going down, providing another last right stack.
Yep, Kira's ult is going to resolve pre-20, which is a rare scenario, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Stukov goes down, and Blaze isn't going to be able to find a way out either. 3 kills for Fountain Snipers, and they look to be headed towards the Tribute boss and Malthael on the Tribute.
Or Nolos Dos. That's what they're doing right now. It doesn't look like Maximum Thrust have identified that their opponents want to be on boss, because they could definitely have defended this objective, but they have ceded full control into clearing bottom lane. So, Fountain Sniper's just getting everything that they want right now, even making sure their opponents don't get their own boss. There's pressure in top lane. Everything is coming up Fountain Snipers right now.
Yep, they thought that engagement was a little tenuous under the opponent's towers, and Sonya definitely paid the price for it. But she's got 16, so Nerves of Steel will help. Steel will help out just a little bit, and of course, oh boy, Kel'Thuzad's taken out absolutely instantly. He does have the res, but it doesn't help the team in the fight immediately. Kel'Thuzad opting not to res, but I think it's a imminent national importance that he does.
Yeah, otherwise it's just going to take their opponent's boss. Boss is already clearing through the bottom lane. It's still very healthy. Heck, I don't even think you try to contest the boss. You need KTZ for just boss damage removal.
Yeah, I mean, this is very dangerous here for Maximum Thrust. Kel'Thuzad did go ahead and opt to return, and is going to burn out this boss with the team, so that's going to deal no permanent core damage, but I think much more consequently, there's a boss in the top lane and a curse.
Yeah, I think that maybe the it's either 50 or 200 IQ play is to just leave boss in top lane and try to defend the objective.
Yeah,
maybe, at least then they could.
It works.
Yeah, it is a high risk, high reward play, but when they're as far down as they are right now, I think that's the kind of play you have to try for sometimes.
Yeah, they need to take a fight very quickly here. The boss will rip through the keep eventually, and they need to be done with this team fight by then, so that means anyone's going to go in and try and make an engagement happen. Mosley's going to take a bunch of damage from the Frost Blast and the hit. He goes down. Rusty not able to get the port over in time. So this fight is working out in the favor of Maximum Thrust, but Fountain Sniper is still going to be able to put on incredible pressure as a very healthy boss is crashing in on core now.
Yeah, and shields are already down. Boss at about 60% hit points. There goes another kill onto Blaze. A big stun coming out from Vacuity, followed by an equally large silence. Is going to kill the Anubarak. User error is going to be the next to fall, however, and core will be the next to fall after that.
That was very well played by the Fountain Snipers overall. They really just kind of handled every team fight as they needed to. And while I didn't get to see in the end, I have an ad on your channel. No. Why? Damn it. It's what happens I get for using my Prime sub on Grant.
To be fair, Grant streams, what, 5 times a week? More?
Three times.
Oh, really? Is that all? I mean, to be fair, that's like 8 times more often than I stream on an average month. So and he's got way better emotes, so I get it. But at the same time, come on.
Yeah, so I feel like these, I like the idea that Maximum Thrust had, where you have this blow-up comp kind of occur, but it was a little slow to get started, and I feel they had to commit really hard to make anything happen. They had to have a leap, which is a high-risk, high-reward play, and a blaze charge, which is high-risk, high-reward, and it just left them out of position very often. So, that made it so that the counter picks for Fountain Snipers were easy to come by.
I was mentioning this while watching Taco Cast earlier. Hero damage isn't something that normally I would look at and say is an especially important stat. But when your Li Ming is dealing in excess of double of the other team's damage, as well as you have 3 people on one team dealing more damage than any one person on the other team, it starts to really matter at that point.
Yeah, as I completely agree with you, hero damage is not the end-all, be-all, but a lack of it will end your team. Its absence, I guess, is an end-all, be-all. So,
all right, we have confirmation that Maximum Thrust are taking map pick, and because it'll be a minute before it appears on stream, Ace, any guesses as to what map they would have picked?
Infernal Shrines.
A solid guess, but that is not correct. They have chosen Volskaya Foundry.
Oh. Very cool. To be perfectly honest, I went to the tabs of previous games, and then I picked one of the maps that was shown.
I mean, that's fair. Infernal Shrine's, unsurprisingly, their most played map, as it is
I wonder how
many
many
teams'
teams
most played map.
actually have uh, all of that. So, hmm.
But Maximum Thrust rocking 2 wins, 1 loss on the map, so certainly one that they have done better than average on.
Yeah.
Not enough time for a comprehensive deep dive into those numbers exactly. I don't know which teams they beat and which teams they lost to. It could be providing a lot more telling information than just a 66 win rate in 3 games. But certainly they feel it is a comfortable pick, and I think if they decide to go with that kind of a frontline engage style, again, this is a map that it can work quite well on. And, yeah, maybe, I like KTZ as a hero. I think he is, like some of the plays they were making, very high risk, high reward. And if you don't get the early game value out of him, it can be really difficult to get value out of Kel'Thuzad because you're playing with less than a full team for a good portion of the match. So unless you're either really confident in not losing the early game or really, really confident in your ability to snowball the mid to late game, it's a risky pick.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there.
Thank you for clearing out the predictions, by the way.
No problem. That's my job as a co-caster.
It really
Um,
is.
yeah. So, yeah, I would like to see just a little bit of adjustment here from Maximum Thrust. And I agree with you. Good ideas, but uh, execution just a little bit too feast or famine. And they definitely took a couple really famine fights and that just kind of fell out of control in a pretty significant way.
Yeah, and credit to Fountain Snipers, they got ahead and knew how to keep a lead.
Yeah, for sure. They did a really solid job of just forcing plays out of their opponents and you know making all that occur. So solid job to them. Let's see if they can keep it going here on one of the you know least played maps in this entire pool.
Yeah, Volskaya Foundry, I think, has dropped to second least played. It used to be second most played a couple of seasons ago. Really goes to show that taking it out of Storm League as well as changing how the base map mechanics works can really change how a map is perceived.
Yep, and we've kept up with it through scrims, especially last season, as it was just kind of falling through the ranks. But even now, it's tougher to get games on Volskaya.
Yeah,
So
I think that of all the maps, this was one of the ones that was most hurt by the fountain change.
I I have interesting thoughts because I actually started to see deviations more similar to the Dragon Knight style, where you split the team away from the Triglav, and then you have Triglavs get like all of bottom fort instead of getting well snipe, which I thought is a little bit better for game progression because I don't like the idea of just sniping wells and calling it good. I don't feel it's a big enough advantage for the first few, but that's just kind of my feels about it.
I would love to wax poetic about map design, and on this map in particular, literally all day, but then we would become an actual podcast and wouldn't have any gameplay anymore. So instead, we're going to talk about the more immediate concerns of the map and the gameplay therein. One of the things that Fountain Snipers found a lot of success on the previous map was their early boss calls, and being able to go generate high amounts of value on the map without Maximum Thrust identifying it. There is, I would say, much less opportunity to do that on this map. Not only is the only strongly contested point of value on the map in the middle instead of in the safe corners, but there's only the one of them, and it's constantly in rotation. So it's going to be a lot harder, I think, for them to get incredible amounts of value by just disappearing for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I tend to agree. So we'll see. There's the Sonya band out, so definitely more clarification that the Sonya was more of a pick deny that worked into their strat. And don't get me wrong, I like the double bruiser on big map strat with the Sonya and the Kira, but just didn't quite work out on their favor. So I think that ban is entirely reasonable. Li Ming seems to be rather contested between the teams as well. So Ming and Stukov banned out here. Anubarak tossed out, and who will we see first?
Yeah, Nubarak caused a lot of problems in the previous game for Maximum Thrust. No big surprise to see that getting thrown away here. I think Stukov was kind of a relatively easy target for Fountain Snipers on the previous map, but I think that'll be a lot harder on this map. The geometry of the points lends to Stukov being able to play relatively safely, except for the third objective. That area is just terrible. But as well, the fights are a little bit less dynamic, so being able to just park down and put a lurking arm gets more value on this map than it would on Cursed Hollow.
Yep, I definitely could agree with that. Anyone reprising the role on Blaze here? I think, again, with the more locked-in points, I think he has more of an opportunity of landing some big jet propulsions in the middle of the point. But we'll have to make sure that they connect, as Blaze is painfully out of position without that stun landing.
Yeah, it's like exactly the opposite of a Stitch's hook.
Yeah, you're definitely right there.
I wonder if if the high priority on Anduin is also a form of deny, as I do know that Fountain Snipers like him quite a bit. Not that User Error doesn't play Anduin, but he's not in the top 3, I think, for them.
Yeah, I can't confirm any of that with stat. Actually, I could. I have Maximum Thrust thing right here. Anduin, 5 games.
Yeah.
60 win rate on him, so not bad.
Actually, he is in the top 3. He's the third one after Brightwing and Rhaegar.
Yep. Brightwing, not doing well for Maximum Thrust this season.
Yeah, quite one out of the 8 games that they played her. But definitely a pick they feel comfortable picking, even if it isn't reflected in current stats.
Yeah.
Happy to see no more Johanna priority.
Yeah, that's been a welcome change.
I'm happy to see less Rhaegar priority, because that means I can play more Rhaegar.
They are running it back.
That's so interesting.
Tyrael Kel'Thuzad. Okay, so I want them to go with their last pickup to be somebody with wave clear and like somebody you would maybe more traditionally put in a comp. I'd like Kel'Thuzad more on this map, but you do need a little bit of a core to work around him, and Gazlo picked up, and boy, is that good on this map.
Yeah, it is. And I believe that Orphea is quite the comfort pick for Silver Jackal specifically, and on the whole, it's just kind of a nice defensive comp coming out from Fountain Snipers. It's a defensive comp with the ability to push really hard when they turn around.
What do we have, Diet Llama? We have the Cure again. I'm not a fan of it this time. I don't think it's the right map or whatever, and I don't think they have consistent wave clear enough for it.
I tend to agree. So does Kira go in the 4-man this time?
I'd almost say no. I think Kira stays in an offlane. You have to have Blaze in the 4-man with this composition, or you'll never stack a Kel'Thuzad.
I don't... Tyrael, I think, is the more interesting pick. I liked Tyrael until they had Kira, and then now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know what Tyrael provides for this team. I'm very curious as to what occurred. Vacuity is on the Tyrael, who did play Sonya last time, so it might be the off lane, but
I think,
I don't know.
I mean, that's maybe the choice I like best for the offlane. We'll have to see.
For sure. We'll, maybe they can, blow us away.
I would love that. Get us to a game
Yeah.
3, pick Kira Kel'Thuzad for a third time, and blow everybody's minds.
Oh, yeah, new meta.
Alright, spawning left-hand side in the blue trunks, they are Fountain Snipers looking to take it in a 2-0 fashion with Lumpico playing the Johanna Meeding, looking for the Sylvanas, Jackal playing the Orphea, thank you, words are hard, Brightwing is being played by Rusty, and Mosley playing the Gazlord.
All right, and on the right side of the map, in the orange trunks, we do have Maximum Thrust trying to adjust their strategy, but make this Kel'Thuzad Kira thing work with Diet Llama on the Kira, W-Star on the Kel'Thuzad. Anyone on the Blaze with the reprised roles taken care of. We've got User Error on the Anduin, and Vacuity on the Tyrael.
And checking level 1 talents as we are wont to do.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know enough of the heroes on Maximum Thrust side to know what is or isn't weird here.
I will tell you, Ardent Restoration is a funky pick. Seen only in the depths of Aramon Volskaya, I think. It is a strange pickup that usually is overshadowed by Justice for All. But we will have to see how that works out. It gives Tyrael extra health regen when dealing damage, and you can make a build out of it, but it's less team-oriented than other Tyrael builds.
If I'm not mistaken, that means you're giving up shielding your minions, which, as an offlaner, seems important to me. Oh no, it's less,
it's
less
the
shielding,
bonus
less
shield.
shielding. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's
I always forget
AoE
that his shield is AoE baseline. Was it ever not?
no. At
Okay.
no point was it ever not baseline.
Alright, so we do have the camp being taken by Fountain Snipers using their superior raw damage numbers to take that very quickly. Considered invading and opted to just go back into the lane, as it is taking actually quite a bit of time for Maximum Thrust to pick up their own camp, and that may cause them to lose out a little bit of soak in either mid lane or top lane. Fountain Snipers anchoring this bush area to stop this quick rotation.
Yep, anyone does go ahead and help Peel, gets pulled out and then goes right back in. User Error trying to do the best he can, keep the team alive, and anyone is going to escape as the turret fight commences. But yeah, good cover there of the XP by Fountain Snipers, and it will give them a small little advantage here.
Yeah, shout out to Diet Llama there. Healing with Kira's crowd control is not something you tend to see very often, but almost certainly saved anyone there.
Yep, Revolving Sweep is I have opinions on that ability that I will reserve for podcast hours.
Fair enough. We do have one free stack there going out onto Lumpico, holding that bush. On the whole, just really clean rotations coming out from Fountain Snipers, even taking the time with, again, their higher damage output at the early levels to go ahead and take that camp that their opponents cannot hope to take themselves without ceding a lot of positioning.
Yeah, Fountain Snipers identify it. They may be able to go for the region camp. I see the pings come out, and that's what they want. Again, it may not be a boss, but it's still the same effect. Use the superior wave clear, control, kills, whatever they get, and just find more things on the map. That's why wave clear is so critical in every level of play.
Yeah, I think maybe that the Maximum Thrust just give up taking that camp, clear it out, and be in position to defend might be a stronger position for them. Vacuity doing a cheeky job, stalling out this objective for just a couple of extra seconds. As soon as he steps off, channel starts going in favor of Fountain Snipers.
W-Star's going to go ahead and look for a raw chains. Doesn't end up finding it, but does hit the raw W. Anyone's going to take a bunch of damage, again, off another jet propulsion. Vacuity's now going in and trading out tank spots with the team as Diet Llama even goes in, tries to make some things happen. But again, damage is just not high for Maximum Thrust this early, and especially with the heal pulse getting used, there's just not much kill pressure currently.
There's also not a lot of kill pressure against them at the moment. Right there, they start taking quite a bit of damage, but just before that, they actually were in a pretty fine position. Diet Llama finds a big engage into Sylve, I believe it already used her Banshees. Gonna find a jet prop onto her as well, but not able to secure that into a kill. Is doing a better job this game of helping to get the Kel'Thuzad stacked early, however, at 15 stacks already. I think he was at 22 stacks after a whole curse phase, so W-Star taking the brawlier nature of this map and using it to good advantage.
You can also stack on the Triglav with your E every single time it's available, and it's not a hard target to hit, so that's easy stacks right there as well as one gets picked up. For reference, W-Star had 26 stacks to finish the game last time, so
yeah,
any completion of quest is a major upgrade.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing is Vacuity is playing almost like a Diet Sonya, using his mobility and self-sustain to just get in and start doing damage to the backline, then use the Eldrin's Might to just leave safely instead of having to commit a full heroic to it like Sonya would. Really interested to see what he picks up at level 10, though.
Now, I want to say this objective phase was not a whole lot of structure damage here. Actually, fights coming out as Silver Jackal takes a bunch. Brightwing gets a stun or a move, but it is not enough. Does not get the port time to first blood actually to maximum thrust, and that's a big deal. Are they going to go for the invade Vacuity? Looking for it, dropping the eyes on Mosley, and that's going to be a successful camp invade, but no kill picked up.
Yeah, not able to stall long enough to get level 10 for Fountain Snipers, so not able to hold a defense there. Lane pressure is still generally in favor of the Fountain Snipers, as they have more people just in the mid-top area, as their opponents are continuing to take camps in the bottom part of the map, so XP is going to start going in favor of Fountain Snipers, even as the items go in favor of their opponents.
Yeah, one important thing during that Triglav is that even though it didn't do a lot of structure damage, only got a front wall, 4 members of Maximum Thrust were defending it the entire time, and Vacuity only picked up the second half of the wave. Ooh, nice pickup for against Gazlowe.
Yeah, but
so
if there's one thing the Fountain Snipers are good at, it's getting advantage elsewhere and using that one hero death in bottom lane to pick up the Biotic emitter. They've got Brightwing in the bot lane, so they're not missing out on Soak. I think even that kill might be an advantage for Fountain Snipers. Just really good job taking advantages where they can and giving up as little as they can in the process.
Yeah, those 2 kills are massive for Maximum Thrust, though. Looking at the XP, they're down over 2,000 in terms of minions, but they've redeemed 1,500 of it in the hero pickups. So that's a really important thing, because I was just saying, they missed a lot of Soak during that Triglav phase, like a frightening amount of Soak.
Yeah,
but they were able to pick up 2 kills, and now they're in a little better of a spot for it.
Yeah, using the KTC engage again, Brightwing not having her heroic as a good enough disengage, and I guess didn't have the Soothing Mist out. Soothing Mist comes out just then, is able to cleanse and provide a sufficient heal to get them out of there. Blaze is very low. Bunker did get dropped there. No kills, but a large commitment from both teams.
Yeah, Maximum Thrust needs to be careful on engaging until this Kel'Thuzad quest gets finished up. They've got 27 now, so it's a lot more present. 29. So next engagement it will occur, or it should occur, but they're just not able to finish these kills quite yet. Ooh,
yeah.
But they might find the kill on Mosley. No, everything misses.
I'm a little glad that that didn't hit for Taya Lama. That would have put him in an awkward spot if he then committed farther with the revolving sweep.
Yeah. So,
level
13's now. We're on the same page there, Ektar.
Gonna be coming online for Fountain Snipers. It is a little bit farther off for Maximum Thrust. They have 2 decisions. Take early possession of the point to start getting channel, or hard disengage to get level 13 more quickly. They're taking kind of the middle route of not really doing either. They do have their Tyrael out there. I take it back. Third option, just try to force a fight pre-13.
Yep, 12's about to turn into 13s. You can fight before your opponents have time to click the button, but there we go. All of them picked up, and now Maximum Thrust would be wise to just pick up that mid lane, and that's all you need for level 13. But instead, they're loitering around point just a little bit longer. Lumpiko's going to take a lot, but does have that unstoppable Gravibomb into Jaws for 2 kills, killing all of the damage for Maximum Thrust. And with the heal pulse, nobody will go down for the Fountain Snipers. fighting down 13 proves fateful, even though I don't think that was the peak cause of it.
No, there was a lot of split focus during that team fight. The Frost Blast, not Frost Blast? Frost Blast
Yes.
went onto the Johanna, but a lot of the follow-on damage and the combustion went out into the back lines. There was a lot of people who got low, but no one who got brought down to 0. Most important of all numbers.
Yep. You don't get XP for 0.99 of a kill. Lumpiko's actually going to go down here as the fort targeted on, and that allowed the Blaze Stun to essentially let the fort do all the damage necessary. So this is contestable now.
Yeah.
For maximum thrust with 5 members up.
Yeah, I definitely think that they could have put Brightwing on the point during that objective and gotten channel and fort damage. Brightwing is almost never the make or break of killing. Oh, big random root onto Silver Jackal is going to lead into a partial KTZ combo, which will lead to death. They did commit the Frost Blast as well. It's actually a very low damaging ability. Its usefulness comes out of the fact that it's a point-and-click root, but they will still find the Gazlo out of position with Kel'Thuzad having been stacked for a little bit now. They are finally starting to find their stride in this game, Ace.
Yeah, they are. They're working on the heal pulse now. They're channeling some percentage, but they are going to be need to wisely split around the map, grab some XP. Don't really use this advantage well, as Fountain Sniper is going to find some value elsewhere on the map by invading their opponent's camp and then working on bottom fort here with Sylph Trade.
Do you think that Fountain Snipers can trademark getting value somewhere else? Because that's what they've been doing the whole series so far. It's been what I would consider the hallmark of their play. And now it's even pulling a whole bunch of members out of top lane. They'll get the objective, but they could be getting a lot more. Rusty is going to get rooted there. I don't know if they had the cleanse available, but opting not to use it in any case. And that is a bit of a scuffed engage coming up from Maximum Thrust. They're going to bleed out 1, maybe 2 kills. Should just be 1.
Ooh. User Error takes a bunch. Does drop the heal pulse to keep himself alive. That does actually work out. But Blaze does end up going down. Diet Llama revolving sweeps to death. And now Siltrate still down was used in that fight. Tyrell's going to push with a siege camp on the top, and that's pretty effective. But I think more effective is 5 people pushing in the bottom lane, barreling down on this keep.
Yeah, I think the play, finish out that fort, drop the Triglav in top lane so it stops the minions from pushing. Then full retreat to make a defense if the members of Fountain Snipers continue to push here. Whole heavy commitment coming up from W-Star onto Mosley. They're not going to find anything of particular value, however.
Nope, they lose the bottom keep again early. Very similar to the previous game. Tyrell still going ahead and pushing, getting some good value out of the Triglav. It's got 15 seconds left, so they can't get a whole heck of a lot more. And Tyrell does look like he's just going to go ahead and ditch the mech right there in the bush. They'll never be able to see it.
He just wants to leave it next to his friend up here.
Yeah, right there. Poor friend, he just got his friend blown up.
Yeah. We have a nice invade coming out from the members of Maximum Thrust here, looking to take this off the map for their opponents. They have the damage, finally, to take this quickly, and so they're going to be able to take it and disengage without... Oh, big blessed shield. Huge unstoppable coming out as well, though. A lot of damage. Tyrael, the first one to go down here. Revolving sweep gets pulled during the channel time, is going to save them. Was that the Tyrael? Was that Archangel's route?
That was Tyrael trait. That was Tyrael trait.
Is that what that's called, by the way? I actually don't remember.
Archangel's Wrath. Ooh, what's it called? I'll have to check while you go on about this.
All right, got the Silk trait being popped in mid lane. Decent engagement coming up from Diet Llama. Meeting is going quite low. A lot of damage over time, but not able to secure that kill in its totality. But this is a much more even game than we had in game number 1. Most notably because they've got a stacked Kel'Thuzad, but their engagements are just a little bit sharper. They're finding their opponents a little bit more out of position, and they're able to get more stuff.
Yeah. Update 1, it is Archangel's Wrath on Material trait.
Let's go.
Update 2, this camp might be fought over, and it is a 5v4 in favor of Maximum Thrust as Tyrael's coming back sooner. Due to that trait, incredible trait value. That's actually the most trait value I've I think I've seen Tiro get in a very long time.
Yeah, it's like killing the last shot of the core, and then that
Oh!
just... Oh, that's it. That's an engagement coming out from Vacuity. They saw me being quite low. Not able to actually find any hard CC out of them, however, they're just going to use this time to clear out the camp and then hopefully disengage nice and safe before another big Blessed Shield comes out and ruins their whole day.
Maximum Thrust are trying to fight a lot, and they need to be winning fights a lot because otherwise they're missing out on boatloads of soak around the map, and they need to get their way to level 20. I'd like to see them just find some, either force these a little harder or something. Tyrael's going to go down here in the bottom lane with Arrow and Jaws committed to that. He's going to hit Silver Jackal for some wrathful revenge damage, but that's about it, and that's a very critical pick as Point C is going to be up not too long from now.
Worth pointing out, I think, is that Maximum Thrust are no longer behind in minion XP. It is everywhere else that they're now starting to lag behind. The passive, the structures, and especially now the heroes.
Yeah, these later kills have been quite beneficial for the Fountain Snipers' XP totals, as well as passive actually making a 3,000 XP difference, which is a majority of this difference here. W-Star goes for the combo onto Silver Jackal, but it's a little early. Does get a good bit of damage off, but again, everything was just kind of not at the same time, and so they're able to escape with, pretty much no scars as Fountain Snipers get level 20.
So, I've learned how short of a cooldown Frost Blast is. It feels like it's just always available. 50 seconds is not super short, but it's quite short. But I gotta say, W-Star is using this ability just 4 seconds too early in every engagement. There's no follow-up from the jet propulsion. There's no Kira damage. It's just, can KTZ 100-0 the selected target? If yes, they die. If no, and it's been no most of the time, then it ends up going really poorly for them. Anyone getting caught out just a little bit does have the Unstoppable. There comes a Blessed Shield. It's going to find a Crushing Jaws into W-Star, and they're going to get blown the heck up. Does have the Phylactery available. Anyone does not have such luxury is going to go down and stay down. Not popping that Phylactery just yet. I would like to see... Fountain Snipers are pushing the issue, and they are. That's a very early Sanct.
Sure is, and it leaves everybody in place for the Jaws upgrade, which reset its timer. Kel'Thuzad not opting to resurrect on this core defense. I would have liked that if they went to point C, but instead, he's going to res with 50% on the core, and this game's just going to go ahead and end before anything occurs.
Yeah, with in excess of 4 turrets, if you include the Gazla ones, that was a lot of core pressure. And, Maximum Thrust just kind of not respecting their opponent's ability to end the game there.
Yeah. That's kind of where we're at there. It was closer. I definitely agree with you. But overall, as you mentioned, the engagements were just not quite clean enough. Cleaner than game 1, but it wasn't quite there to make it happen. So
yeah, you can. Yeah. We didn't talk about it during this match in particular, but we like to talk a lot about ease of execution. The Fountain Snipers in both games took relatively basic run-of-the-mill compositions and just played them well. Not saying that Maximum Thrust didn't play well, but their composition requires more skill to pull off, and it's just harder to execute. And when your execution isn't up to snuff, well, that's how game 1 happens.
Yeah, okay. For Maximum Thrust, I'm very curious how much they went in the lab and tested that, because they ran it out twice in a playoffs match, even after it got kind of smoked. I'm very curious as to the lab and the strategy behind all of that, because I think they have something, but I think there needed to be a little bit more refinement on that before it came out.
There we go.
working on the interview?
Yeah,
Sounds
that feeling
good.
when captains aren't accepting whispers from people not on their friends list in NGS.
Well, go yell at somebody else. Or ping him in Discord.
I yelled at somebody else.
Is it a caster? Are they allowed to join? Ridiculous.
It is a caster. Let's go. Welcome, Silver Jackal, and congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Oh, this is yeah. So we have all of us joining. So I'm gonna join
Well,
lobby
apparently not.
one. This lobby
caster-
only allows 3 people in it.
It sure does. So, if you insist, we'll go to lobby 2.
I have admin powers. I can put as many people into a 3-person
all right.
chat channel as I want.
Well, it's now the clown car of
So we're missing Lampico.
casting lobbies.
He's not in a chat channel.
Can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I can't pull him into the server. I can only move him from chat channel to chat channel.
Imagine just drag him from the Fountain Snipers Discord in here. Just there you go.
Just beam him in.
Yeah, I'm pinging him.
Well, while we're waiting for Lampico again, congrats on the 2-0 victory. Looked,
Thank you. Thank you.
Pretty solid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lumpico, for joining Coin Toss number 5, so you're so much closer when I drag you over here. It's less scrolling. It's easier, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say I was the closest. I joined this lobby.
True.
True. Hashtag Casterflex.
Exactly.
All right, so for this match, you were coming in as the number 1 seed out of D West, and I know the ultimate score of your original matches against Maximum Thrust, but how did you feel comfort-wise going into this set?
I'd say we were pretty confident. We knew what we wanted to do.
I'm always nervous.
I appreciate that level of honesty.
We have our chief strategist, Mosley, who gives us all confidence.
Strategist? Wait a minute. Did I hear that? Just making sure I heard the strategist right.
He was just putting the proper emphasis on his syllables.
Okay. So is part of the Department of Strategy. Got it.
As someone who played entirely too much Stratego growing up, I approve of this pronunciation.
Yeah. I like it. It's a little more fun.
Yeah, it's all about the spy.
So, clearly, then, Mosley, you're the most interesting person in this lobby to talk to. What was the strategery that you were planning to bring into tonight's match?
I think the strategy is definitely a big combination with all of us. I am the stats guy, though. I'm the one that makes the spreadsheets and looks at all the data and everything like that. So thank you. Aren't you the one running the stats of the storm, getting that stuff ready now?
I
Hector?
am standing on the shoulders of giants. I am taking what Falendrith did, and I'm just churning through the numbers. He's the one that did all the hard work. I'm just the one keeping upkeep on it. But yes, I am.
Yeah, well,
I am
brother, I
that person.
appreciate that because it certainly helps things for us little data monkeys here. So. Yeah, that's what I do, and I pass along observations I have, and then we talk about it, try and figure out maps and bands and all that stuff. So I definitely don't take full credit on any of that.
So with game number 1, to me, with my limited scouting between the two teams, it really felt like Maximum Thrust was trying to hard target some of your favorite hero picks. Is that kind of the assessment you had as well?
Yeah, I think we both were doing that.
Yeah, there's definitely a few heroes on our radar that we were trying to deny from them.
Yeah, they have a few heroes that are definitely their comfort picks that they've played 10 or 12 times this season, and so we were targeting those, and they were targeting ones that they wanted for their matches or matchups. Like the Sonya band. That's not my most played, but she's certainly strong right now, and I've been playing it more. So yeah, I think we both were on the same page.
And how do you think that your team does when taking off some of your comfortable heroes? Is that obviously everyone is a little bit flexible, but definitely some teams are more flexible than others. So how do you think that you rate on the overall flexibility scale as a team?
I mean, we're first seed, so I think we show pretty well that we do well flexing around.
It could be that they just never target ban you. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say that I felt like people get too targeted ban. Rusty gets picked on a lot, and we see a lot of Brightwing and Anduins getting banned out. But most teams just tend to stick to Johanna, Stukov. Those meta heroes that are a real problem right now.
Speaking of meta heroes, it's my opinion that as of the last patch, we're no longer necessarily in a you have to ban these two heroes if you're not first pick every game. Do you tend to agree or disagree? And if you disagree, who are the necessary target bans in the meta?
Cho'Gall.
Pro and Gall independently.
Yeah. If you don't ban them both, they can still pick the one, obviously.
Well, I'll say that we didn't ban
Yeah.
Stukov the first game, and that felt bad. He
Yeah.
got a lot of really good ease off first game.
Stukov's still
Oh,
too
I noticed
annoying.
that.
I mean, you say that, but Lumpico, to you especially, every time he put a lurking arm down, he was stunned and probably died for it.
Still doesn't mean it didn't feel bad.
That's
Yeah, I was watching for his lurking arm, targeting him. I hate him. Playing versus him at least.
already.
Yeah, I do agree that the Joe is definitely not necessarily a first ban material anymore. I don't think we did ban her in.
Yeah,
in
for a
the first
while it
round.
was Joe, Stukov, and Rhaegar. You had to always ban them out, and they've been knocked down a bit. So you can let them slide if you know that the enemy team's not got a Rhaegar main or something like that.
Hot take. I haven't thought that Stukov has been overpowered since even before his most recent nerf. So I certainly don't think he is necessarily a first pick hero now.
I think when
He's just annoying.
when you're down in the gold dumps a little bit, then it's just like he's so oppressive against certain teams. He's always banned whenever I play Storm League.
I feel that's really interesting because I see him mostly these days as a somewhat flexible later draft pick. Like, he still does a lot of good things, but he's not as amazing as he was before, so he can be countered, I feel, pretty effectively if you take him early. So it's interesting to hear that your
Skill level, let's say.
well, no, I was going to say that your experiences in Storm League are so different from mine in that one regard, at least.
Interesting.
All right, moving back into the actual match and a little bit away from the Heroes of the Storm meta. Gotta say, I love your drafting game number one. Especially, it's 5 heroes that are all independently quite good, work quite well together, and how you play the composition is pretty much obvious to anyone who knows the game. Like, Leeming Greymane, they blow people up. Anubarak stuns people so they get blown up. Brightwing is a global and also incredible follow-up, and then Malthael is your extra soak. So I think, on the whole, you just have, like, heroesofthestorm.comp on the tin right there. Your opponents, on the other hand, did something different. I certainly didn't expect either the Kira and certainly not the Kel'Thuzad, based off of what I've seen of Maximum Thrust in the past. Did that throw y'all for a loop? And if so, how do you adjust to something that different?
You got me sweating a little bit. I'm like, oh no, they've practicing this up in secret. What do they got going on? Because we didn't see either of those heroes on our radar.
Yeah, they definitely haven't played Kel'Thuzad at all, and when that shows up, you're just kind of like, well, this is either going to be really good or really bad. I think that's actually what somebody said as we were going into that first match. It's like, this is either going to turn out really, really good or really bad. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So,
on the whole, I think it would tend towards the really bad in the first game. Didn't finish stacks before the game ended, which is always feels bad as the Kel'Thuzad team. So it must have been quite a surprise, I feel, to see him again in game number 2.
I'd say he's easier to stack on those guys since it's a lot smaller and you have to clump up on those points.
And the Triglav is a hero with a giant hitbox that tends not to move around a lot, so even if you lose that, you're at least getting some kind of value back.
Yeah.
This is gonna seem maybe like a kind of a out of left field question, but who calls your macro decisions?
I do.
Yeah.
Who is I for those
That
of
was
us who
Silver.
cannot see?
yes, Silver Jackal, and they should be able. No, I'm not. I'm not on the right scene to see it. Yeah, Silver Jackal is the macro shot caller.
Okay.
I think you did above your pay grade for macro shot calls this match.
Thank you.
I, at least 4 different times in the match, used the term getting value somewhere else, and that honestly feels like the trademark of how you played this match. Anytime that you had a disadvantage somewhere on the map, that meant you had an advantage somewhere else, and you were pushing it probably harder than your opponents were pushing the advantage that they had. And I don't even have a question. I just want to applaud the prescience to always be doing something of value.
Why, thank you. It's a stressful job at times, shot calling.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it without him.
Like, lose a kill in top lane, push bottom fort and take our opponent's objective. Lose a kill in bottom lane, literally take all of front wall setting up the next objective. Like, anytime your opponents were getting a lead, if it wasn't in a 5v5 fight, you were probably getting more value elsewhere. Part of that is you had a Sylvanas, who is an incredible force multiplier in that regard, but the other big difference that I would say I saw between your two teams' play is you made decisions more decisively and you rotated with more confidence. So you just
We did?
you did things faster than your opponents. And ultimately that's how I perceive the game is how do you get the most value in the smallest amount of time? And if you're making decisions quicker, you're just going to get more value over time. And that kind of incremental advantages really mounts up over time. I mean, that's how you find yourselves with a 2-fort advantage behind in kills. So again,
Sure doesn't feel that coordinated at times if you're on comms, but yeah, thanks to
Yeah,
the
it's
team
just-
for really holding it together this series.
It's just me yelling at them.
Yeah, exactly.
in likelihood, it is the product of having played enough together that you don't necessarily need to call everything that you're doing. The team just kind of implicitly knows what each other person wants to be doing and doing it without calling it.
Yeah, you should have seen us the first few weeks though. It was rough. Don't go back and look at any of those VODs.
Yeah, we didn't have a designated shot caller then. It was pretty messy.
Right.
I do applaud Maximum Thrust for that second. I think they really changed their strategy and tried to play really aggressive and had some great invades and things like that in that second match.
Certainly they were they played a actually quite similar comp. They just played it better in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
The KTZ got stacked a lot faster. They were taking cleaner engagements. They were ripping out kills with more consistency. But they just couldn't quite find enough value off of what they were getting to offset everything you were doing, I would say. But I think that is all I have for the interview. I know I did a bit more talking than asking than I normally do in these interviews. Ace, do you have anything for our guests here?
I guess the only thing I want to know is trying to look at the other side of the tournament bracket so far. This is a Friday match, but I don't see the other one reported.
It hasn't been played yet.
Okay, so it is a weekend
It
match.
is. It's
a week 2. It's a week 2 match.
Yeah, because this is a double round robin division. They had an
Yep.
extended regular season. For anyone watching in the chat, that means that this is the first week of playoffs as opposed to most of the divisions where this is the second week of playoffs. Calendar weeks,
Cool.
not round weeks.
Yes. Okay. So it's all random, all middle age, or Bull Moose Party. To those who may be scouting and watching, either got a preference, got a nemesis that you want to get back at? What you think about
or just anything you want to say to your potential next round?
I think they both beat us during one of our matches, so either one that we have to face, it's going to be a tough fight.
Yep, I think they're both good teams, and it's really and I appreciate what they bring to the table. I'm a little bit scared. Won't deny it, but I think it's gonna be a good final round. Whoever it is.
Alrighty, I think that is going to do it for the Q&A portion of the interview. We're going to throw it on to y'all for any shoutouts you want to give.
All right, who wants to start?
I'll go.
Take it away.
Shout out to any friends, family watching. That could be, if you're still watching, Jen, Angie, Will, Ty, maybe Josh. I don't know. But thanks to those guys for watching. And I will let the rest of the team catch everybody else.
All right, no one's talking, so I'll take a shout out to you guys for casting. I really appreciate it. I know it's the last second one, but it's always a lot more fun. Shout out to Odd and Nay and Allie for watching. Thanks, guys. Shout out to Maximum Thrust. It was definitely a fun set. And shout out to NGS for having this whole, what is it, league set up, so we don't all have to be stuck in quick match and storm leagues.
Yeah.
Big fan of competitive. It is so much more fun than
NGS
even a good
is
Storm League match.
the only saving grace, because I would not be playing this game otherwise. So
yeah, if there was no NGS, I would not be playing Storm League at this point.
Correct.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming on in. Really appreciate it. Congratulations once again, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have
All right, thanks
a
a
good
lot.
night.
Jeez. Now scram, it's really packed in here.
All right, fun series, but pretty commanding performance coming out from Fountain Snipers tonight.
Yeah. Forced to be reckoned with here in D West.
Really showing
whoever
why
they
they're
may
top
be.
of the division.
Yeah, beware. And D East even be on alert, because you might be against them. So.
All right. Because this cast started at 8, there is certainly no NGS casts going on, and I didn't see particularly many NGS even players who are streaming just their games, so still looking for any names that I recognize, though. A part of me wants to raid our good Storm League friend for Brandon, but I think I'm gonna raid Tiny Kitty. Is Plasticine an NGS player, or is she just someone whose name I recognize?
That's just a recognized name, I'm pretty sure.
All right, well, a lesser recognized name, someone I've played games with a couple of times, Tiny Kitty, is going to be the target of tonight's raid. So thank you everyone for coming by. Really appreciate it. Actually hitting up to 17 viewers, which I'm always so surprised about.
We're 29.
We're 29. Let's go. You guys are awesome. Yeah, we're going to get that raid on out of here. Send some love to Tiny Kitty. If you're still around, just say Lucio in the chat, 'cause she loves that hero. And look for us potentially getting in for a round 2 playoff game sometime next week. Yeah, looking forward to it, and we will see you next time.